Going to go ahead and hand off this session to Coach Brent Grablachoff.
Thank you. Hey guys, good morning. My name is Coach Brent with Kicking World. I just go by Coach Brent because the last name's a little long there. I am originally from New Jersey, Toms River, New Jersey. Played D3 football at Montclair State University. Later moved out to sunny San Diego, California for about 10 years and found myself here in Austin, Texas. So I've been here for the last little over 2 years, even though we've been coming to Texas for over 10 years for our camps. Really like it, big time football, you all know that. So what I'm gonna do today is get into 10 kicking tips that's gonna help you out, whether you are a coach or a kicker or punter, or you coach the kickers or punters, or you're a head coach trying to help the special teams coach keep your kickers more accountable. So getting right into it, the first most important part of kicking is proper foot to ball contact. So most of y'all know where to hit it on the ball, but if you don't, you're shooting for the lower third of the ball, just inside on the left side if it's a righty. So let's say we got a right-footed kicker coming towards me. A good spot would be right about here. You typically would do this with another player where they're going to go down on their knee like this and just brace the football. So you would hold your football, get set, simply swing back and hit into the ball, just like this. Real simple drill. One of my kickers, he got drafted by the NFL this year, Jason Sanders from the Dolphins. We work about 30 minutes on this every day where I'll hold a ball in place, static drills. So a lot of coaches don't realize you don't need to go spend 4 hours kicking every day. You could do stuff where it doesn't take much off your leg. So think about a pitcher, right? They don't just go throw full speed for an hour of practice. So next drill we're gonna talk about right here is called a leg sweep. It's very, very simple, not much to it, but to do it the right way, you have to be pretty specific. So all you're gonna do is you get on a line, you set up towards your target. Let's say I'm gonna use this black rubber piece right here, right? I get my kicking foot, if this was a line, set, and all I do is swing back and through. But the key is doing this in a way where you don't reset. If you guys tried it, if you haven't kicked before, what's gonna happen is you hit it and you lose your footing. You hit it and you can't really get 2 in a row. What you should do with your kickers before they start, shoot for getting 10 in a row, nice and smooth. You should be able to use that core, use your guide arm or your counter arm, if you will, and you should be able to do these 30 or 40 times without stopping. If you have a soccer player, a lot of times when they come in and make that transition from kicking a soccer ball to field goal kicking, they're gonna put all their weight on this side and they sort of fall off. In fact, when I was in high school, that's how I kicked before I really had a coach and really started to learn the art of kicking. So if I have, let's say, 70% on my right side as a lefty, what's gonna happen? Even though I wanna kick it towards y'all, I hit it and that weight is gonna pull us off to the side. Now, why would I do that in soccer? What's the advantage, right? Say I aim at the video guy, but I wanna hook it over to Coach Morgan over here. I go boom, and then it hooks right back like a David Beckham kick. But kicking, what's the point? Quick lift, get the ball up over the line of scrimmage, no draw, no wobble. So with that, at contact, 60%, and that's gonna help you skip through the ball naturally. You're generating enough speed, but you're not gonna lose that precision. So that leads me to the next point, a simple equation I came up with. So proper foot to ball contact plus leg speed equals a good kick. You guys got that? PF2B times LS equals GK. We're gonna go into punting and then I'm gonna come back to field goal. Talk about a big misconception with coaches is they think, oh, I gotta do a two-step get off because our punts get blocked. They try to rush the ball when in reality it's more of an efficiency thing from the punter. It's not that you have to catch it and kick it right away. It's more of when they start that first step. So I'm gonna show you what most NFL kickers do right now, or punters rather. So we get set, we get our kicking foot slightly behind, plant foot slightly ahead. As I catch it, that was a great snap, by the way. As I catch it, what did I do? I took a little baby step. We call it a jab step in the field goal. Let's do that again. I'm going to go 1, 2. I'm going to show you the next part of it. So again, plant foot slightly ahead, weight on the balls of our feet. Ready? 1, 2. So at this point, I'm still not kicking it. So if y'all are used to catch, kick, that's not going to make sense. There's one more component coming up. So it's catch, but what do you do as you catch it? You step. You take a little jab step. Think about anything you do. If you were to try to kick a ball, you wouldn't go like that. You got to sort of build it up and get comfortable with your motion. So field goals, 1, 2, 3. Now with this punt, 1, 2, 3. So let's put it together here. We'll do one. Great snap again. So again, about 55% of your weight on the balls of your feet. Get center to the snapper. 1, 2, 3. Now the reason I do not like to do a two-step approach, let's cover that. This would be right foot forward for a righty. I would catch it 1, 2, and punt it. It's just too rushed because part of it is you have to get your setup right. So if I try to punt it and kick it, or catch it and punt it at the same time, it's just too rushed. But if I got that little get going step, 1, then it's simply 1, 2. It's going to be a little smoother. Right? So we want that ball to get up over the line of scrimmage, especially if you're playing in 6A or FBS level. You got guys that are 6'4" monsters coming in trying to block it. So with kicking, the best way to get the ball up is to hit through the ball. So if you ever have any golfers here, what do you do in golf? Gets outside or around. We need to drive our energy through the ball or through the golf club with your golf head. Does that make sense? So just work on a sort of gradual in, back to square, and then through the ball. Because if you do this, you have to close up a little prematurely to get back to your plant foot. Now what happens is I've expired or used or wasted my hips. All I have left is leg. So the fix for that, real simple. Run to your plant foot. If you want to write a note, belly button to the plant foot. That's your starting point. Belly button to the plant foot for that reason, because of this. I go here, boom, and that allows me to get my hips through the kick. So you're going to get a little more oomph with that. And have your kicker think about taking his foot to the target line, but be totally content if his hips and body finishes a foot or so off to the side and downfield. So how many of y'all have your kicker and you say, hey, Mike, go take your bag of balls, come back at the end of practice? Be honest with me. How many are at least coaching staffs, right? I'd say probably 15 more of you do that. You just don't want to admit it. So with that said, you have to strategically practice just like you would with the offensive line or the quarterback or routes. If you don't practice the right way, you're not going to get prepared. So what does a kicker do? Most of y'all don't know, but let's say they just batch out, mindlessly kick 50 in a row. All right, Mike, go hit the weight room for 30 minutes. You're done. Good job today. Now we get to game day, 3 hours, maybe longer if you're in a state playoff with the commercials or in college or the pros. He's conditioned his leg to get all of his kicks for that day done in about 35 minutes. So what's going to happen when you have a 3-hour game? By the second half, his leg is pretty much done. So you're training your kicker that way to be a closer, to come in for 2 innings when he really needs to be a starter and finish out 7 or 8 innings to complete the game, right? So with that said, once a week, or maybe you just do this in August and September for 4 or 5 consecutive weeks to get used to it, you simulate an actual game at practice. So you tell the guy, okay, kicker, punter, snapper, you guys are going to be on your own 3 hours long, and you set up an Excel sheet, or whatever, a notepad. Okay, game starts at 12 o'clock. We won the toss. You got a kickoff. At 12:14, we made a touchdown. We go for extra points. So you go out and kick an extra point, then go run back over to the sideline. It's all simulation. Then right after that, you have a kickoff. Okay, we had a interception. You were running down the other end, and all of a sudden you got to run 60 yards down the field to go kick the extra point, right? So set up these silly but realistic things that could happen. Oh, the T person lost your field goal block. You got to kick this one at 142 off the ground. I know it sounds a little crazy there, but if you prepare for the worst situation, when he goes out there in the game, he's not going to get all flabbergasted or flustered when something isn't exactly to script. So if I could leave you with one last thought to keep your kickers more accountable, just like you would do in any skilled position, any quarterback, running back, whatever, structure some time out, spend 3 or 4 hours the first couple weeks of practice, have a blueprint. You don't want to be that coach that says, Mike, go take your bag of balls and come back 2 hours. Have a plan that works, tweak it, optimize it, and then once you got something that's going, switch it up a little bit throughout the season, because kickers, you should be throwing variables out to them, right? Most of us, we all got a little something wrong in our head, but with a kicker, they could get really flustered. A lot of times they're the meat guys, they're sort of quiet, sort of shy, so they like their routine. But if you could take them out of their element, they're going to become much more dominant under pressure and more confident, and hopefully get you guys winning some more games. So 2 resources for you. Kickingworld.com is our website. I authored a DVD and a book. You can get it on Amazon.com or kickingworld.com/shop. Look for our camp schedule. It's on our website, kickingworld.com. That's it, guys. Thank you for having me. And if you want to talk with me after, I'll be over here. Have a good rest of your convention.